ladies. How's everybody? I'm Kim B. Miller. I'm a lover of words.
Nobody wants to be silent, yet so many are.
I'm the Prince William County Poet Laureate. I'm the first African American Poet Laureate for PwC. I'd say I really got serious about poetry about 10 years ago. I was writing poetry. Before that, I found some old love letters that I wrote and they were poetic, but they weren't really good. But when I got really serious about 10 years ago, it changed, the journey changed because I was interested in the imagery and how it felt and how it sounded and how it could touch somebody and change people's lives. Poetry is an all-encompassing, beautiful thing that people kind of tend to overlook, but I look at it as a way of expressing pain, joy, happiness, and touching people with all your senses. Yes, we are that county where nature feeds beauty to diverse hues. Families of trees welcome visitors. Leaves bow, and the arts bloom endlessly on planted dreams. With over 40 local parks and one state park, parks breathe here. I put my application in. The application includes you including your poems with no names. So the purpose of that is everybody gets poems with no names so they don't know who they're judging. So they can pick a poem based on they just read it and loved it. And then I included my project or things I would be doing once I became Poet Laureate. And I sent my application in and I wish for the best.
I think Poet Laureates bring so much to the county and to our world. They bring a connectivity amongst people, and their work really crosses over all types of people and all, the diversity that's brought in through the arts themselves. I think it's a very important part of our life, and it helps people in so many ways that we are just unaware of, mentally, physically.
She was mesmerized at the fact that this beautiful poetry was coming out, and she saw the work that you were doing. The arts in the county is a great benefit because it offers an opportunity for growth. Wherever arts are, growth and development is naturally either going to join or is going to be elevated. And I think that from the standpoint of Prince William County and its over 400,000 citizens, there's so much room for growth, and we just have to work hard to ensure that every corner of the county is touched by the arts in some way.
So this is a work in progress, but I'm getting somewhere. I write everything from freehand, which means I'll just write a poem, doesn't rhyme. I'm not a rhyming poet. I do have maybe one or two poems that rhyme, but that's not my specialty. The song is missing its point. The lines are lost. No singer will pick up broken notes. Playing background noise so silence is drowning. Swimming like an anchor. My lyrics cannot be complete without the chorus of truth. I write it into every single note. No more short verses, no more sweet tones. Let's scream. Let's let pain escape. Let's make sure that the sky touches my high notes. Let the sun burn me. Light was never meant to be kind. It was supposed to hurt. It's a reminder, darkness is waiting its turn. I'm in love with haiku, and haiku are super short poems, 17 syllable. The original form was beautiful Japanese art. It started in Japan only on Nature and Flowers. That's what an original haiku is. But they also came with this beautiful thing called a senryu, and that's the form I fell in love with. 17 syllables, any subject.
If you're not racing against yourself, you're on the wrong track.
I also have chemisms, which are my sayings. So I just like poetry and writing and words, period. I like that one. Sound is not heard when listening with judgment. My joy as Poet Laureate was to create a couple of different platforms. One was to get us on social media and on websites. Then because COVID was here, I said, well, you have to reach people online. You reach people where they're at.
I think Jessica has a hand up. So Jessica, go ahead with your question.
What is most of your poems about?
Great question. I do a lot on relationships and I do a lot on parenting.
Schools in Maryland and DC, I've been critiquing students, showing them how to do poetry, speak poetry, say it with passion.
And whatever way you do your poetry is perfect. Doesn't mean you don't have to fine tune it. I fine tune mine every day. Doesn't mean I don't practice. I practice all the time.
So my platform was to go and touch people and explain to them poetry is bigger than what you think it is. Because people still go, roses are red, violets are blue. I'm not saying that's not poetry, but poetry is huge. So let's go with how huge it really is.
How much rain do you have to walk in before you realize you caused the storm? Speak caringly. Like the soul you are about to touch would be crushed by every syllable, every verb that you throw at them. Don't you know? We're all carrying baggage in different packages. Just because it's in a Louis Vuitton bag doesn't mean it doesn't hurt.
My motive behind my poetry and everything is the fact that I'm a Christian. I believe it's a gift from God. I believe it's one of those beautiful things that I believe God's a poet. And I think it's really inspiring how we can take different words and use them to feed people. I mean, some people need food, some people need humanity, some people need love, some people need connection. And then when people say, you know, well, how would I go about being a poet? Or how do I go about being a singer or whatever it is they were thinking about being? And I'm like, you can be uniquely who you're supposed to be. But don't think you're supposed to be single-threaded. No one said you only had one talent.
Please recognize your accomplishments or you will label them failures. You got to be able to see you. And let me couple that with a chemism. You will never count something as a victory that you did not count as a step. So when you're taking your resolutions and breaking them into plans and then breaking them into steps, you have to give yourself an acknowledgement for the steps you're making. I don't count it as a victory, but I need you to start counting your steps as a victory, because if not, you won't recognize them. You will never count something as a victory that you did not count as a step.
Look at all you have on your plate and then expand it. If your dreams don't scare you, dream bigger. Any other questions? No? Thank you.